It is December 2024 and I have all my Christmas lights up for this year. I'm going to give you a walkthrough of what I've done. This has been the year for permanent Christmas lights. Not only did I install them on my own house with Bright Home lights, these track lights that are put all over my house. They came out really great. They're very professional looking lights. But I also installed the Nanoleaf permanent outdoor lights on my daughter's house, and I also installed Govees on my other daughter's townhouse, and everything came out great. So hopefully I never have to get on a ladder again, whether it be at my own house or anybody else's. So in this video, I'm going to give you an overview of how my lights are set up and how I got them all to do these fabulous patterns. And when it gets dark, I'm going to show you all the different patterns, how my house looks at Christmas time. So let's get started with the Bright Home lights. Now, Bright Home lights are these track lights that are on the edge of my soffit, and you can see them all the way up here. And these are beautiful, very professional looking lights. You don't see any wires, and they are very easy to maintain and replace a bad string if I need to. And they are all driven by this controller in this box right here. Now, this box has a transformer in it that brings normal voltage down to 12 volts, because all my lights run off of 12 volts. And then it has this card right here, which is a controller that runs WLED. WLED is this awesome LED control software that I got into in 2022 when I put these lights on my house. These are C9 RGB lights, and I now use them on the ground. But I used to put these up on my house on a stupid big ladder. But I don't need to do that anymore. That's why I put up the Bright Home lights. So this controller has 8 channels coming out of it. Okay, that's called a Dig-Octa is the name of the board in there, for those of you that might be into this kind of stuff. Anyway, I use 3 of those outputs to drive these lights on my house. Okay, and the cool thing about that is WLED lets me set up segments so that I could just have this peak be a certain color, and I could have the front of the house be a different color, and I could have the other peak be a different color. I could have the ground be a different color, and not only color, but different effects. I mean, you could see this effect on the house right now in the way that those lights are animating down there. And through a very simple app right here, I can change them to be anything I want. So let's go to this one right here. Look at these. Another cool effect. The cool part here is, remember I said there's 8 channels coming out of this. Well, I'm only using 3. That means I have 5 extras. Well, what did I do? I put an extension cord down here, and that is what goes to these lights over here. So I use another output for these ground lights here. Now, I know they're kind of wonky, and that's because they're in stone and there's concrete backing up these pavers here. So that's why they're not really in the dirt. So I got to do something different next year. But I just wanted to prove the concept and show that I can do ground lights off of the same exact controller. Now, the only way I could do that is these are the same voltage. So these are 12 volts, the same as the Bright Home lights. And that's why I wanted Bright Home lights with 12 volt controller. You can also get Bright Home lights in 24 volts, but I chose 12 so that I could leverage these lights. Now, another thing we're going to take a look at when it's dark is you're going to see what this wreath looks like. Now, this wreath I've had for years, and it originally had just static, Christmas lights on it. It's a 36-inch wreath, and believe me, it's seen better days. The needles come off of it every year that I open it up. But this has just a string of RGB pixels. And you can see the wire goes down here, but they're not connected directly to my Bright Home lights, but yet they're doing the same pattern. Now, how do I do that? Well, over here, I have a control box. And this control box has a 12 volt power supply, and it has a little card down here, a little controller that's called a Dig Uno, and that has 2 channels of output. So you can see I have another channel here that I'm not using. So same style of board, that's Dig Uno, Same style as the one that's used by the Bright Home Lights. And guess what? I made it so they can talk to each other. And this basically takes commands from the Bright Home Lights. And the Bright Home Lights controller controls everything. I know this is probably confusing, and if you have any questions, I can try and help you out. But let me show you how this is set up. I'm going to go to, you're going to see this in the dark, but this one is called Red Glitter, okay? And here you can see my wreath is green. That's red, but that's green. Now, how did that work? So when I go into segments here, you can see I have a segment for my wreath, and I can turn that segment off. Now, I am talking right now to my Bright Home Lights controller. So this is a virtual segment that is communicating with that controller on the ground over there. So if that's blowing your mind, I can make a separate video about this. But believe me, this is just scratching the surface, because the reason why I did this is I didn't want to have a wire coming all the way from that controller across the pavement or string up on the house or anything like that to come over here. Plus, I have more of these ground lights. So I can put more of those in front of the house if I want to. I can put another wreath in front of the house if I want to. I can do anything I want to. So that's a really cool concept, that you can drive multiple controllers from one. All right, it is going to be dark soon, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a demo on what these things look like at night. Okay, what I'm going to do is go through some of the presets that I have, and you can see I have this playlist here that says Christmas at the top, and that playlist has a whole bunch of things in it. And I'll show you some of my favorites. So some of them I actually took from the Bright Home Lights app itself, and some of them I created myself. And so let's take them in order here. So this is Christmas 1. This is from the Bright Home Lights app. And it's actually red and green. Every light is lit. And you can see it does a nice pattern, a nice wave. Christmas 2 used to be a built-in setting in WLED called Candy Cane. And now it's just a tradition to have red and white. And that's bright white, of course. Christmas 3 is red and white, but kind of like a twinkle. It looks good. I like that. But again, every light is lit, and you can see how dense they are, and really lights the house very nicely. And this is Christmas 7. This is kind of like I guess a soft white, and it's kind of a wave. And this is Christmas 10. This one is really pretty cool. This is, the effect is flow with red and green. Again, every light is lit. And then I can also just set it to everything is green. And one of the things you'll notice is that I have every other light lit. And that makes it look more like a traditional Christmas light string. Of course, this is solid red, just like green. Just change the color to red. This is a multicolor solid. So this is actually 5 different colors that I had them in a repeating pattern as if this was a multicolor string, and it's every other light is lit. And you can see them on the ground as well. And then, of course, I also made it so that they twinkle. Each individual color, and this is as if you had twinkling bulbs, a multicolor string with twinkling bulbs. I think this is really pretty cool. This is one of my favorites too. My wife is not crazy about multicolor, but I like it. And this one I call red and green, with a space in between every light. And again, this is one of my favorites too. It's just so classic, so beautiful, just red and green. Now, of course, the 2 colors together, the light that it casts on the house looks a little yellow, but that doesn't bother me because I can still see the bulbs, and the bulbs are red and green, so I like it. Now here's another red and green pattern where I do 2 reds and 2 greens with some space in between them. So just a different look, a different take on the same red and green. And this one is interesting. This one is red with glitter. I don't know if you can see it sparkling on the house, but on the gables, I have it using a different effect on the gables. The gables are using Pixel Wave. And on the ground, it's Pixel Wave as well, red and green. So that's pretty cool. And of course, the wreath is green with the glitter on it. It's subtle, you know? You can't see it. It's not very much, but it's good. I like it. Now this one is called RG Saw. The effect is called Saw, and it's just red and green. And this is every other pixel. And you can modify the settings on the effect. We go to the effect and we change this here. You can see how you made it. Now the whole thing is big, so you can make it smaller, tighter. So that's the width that's what's affected here. And you can see it's doing the same pattern on the ground as well as the wreath. So that's really cool. That's what I call RG Saw. Now my wife likes red, green, and gold, and so I made this one for her. Not sure that I really like it, but it's 2 reds, then a gold, and 2 greens, then a gold. It's all right. Not my favorite. Now I'll give you a look at this Christmas playlist that I have here. And you can see that I put them in varying times. So green is 120 seconds, and just red and green is 600 seconds, which is 10 minutes. And then red, and then red-green, and then RG Flow, and RG Saw. And all these in here have different durations. And the things that are in motion, I tend to do less of. That's just the way we are, you know? And I only use every pixel when something is in motion like this. Otherwise, I usually put space between them because I just tend to like the look better. But what I like about Bright Home Lights is you have that option. You can use every light when you want it to light up. And of course, red and green solid. That's one of my favorites too. I love pulling around the corner and seeing my house all lit up because it's a corner lot. Now I came in a little bit closer so you can actually get a better look at it. And you can see it's doing it on the ground as well. And on the wreath, it's the same pattern on the wreath. Here's a close-up of the wreath, and you can see it's the same exact pattern. It works really nicely. And even if I do the multicolor twinkle, you can see them twinkling on the wreath as well. And I do red and green. That's solid. And this is my red-green saw. And you can see it's doing the same thing on the wreath. Pretty, right? So which one of my effects did you like the best? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. I really want your feedback. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up since you made it this far. I'll put links to everything down in the video description, both Bright Home Lights and all the other videos that I referenced. Everything's down there, so read on if you want to learn anything more. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. And of course, I will see you in the next one. But first, a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, no matter what you celebrate. And I hope you just have a very happy and healthy New Year. Thanks for watching. Hey there, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be the first to know when new videos are posted. Look for HandyDadTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit the website HandyDad.tv for more great ideas and information.